Hi guys, welcome back. Oh, sorry about that. My voice is a bit squeaky then. Right, this is a follow-on from the last video, and what I've got here is a selection of the Edith Holden pages that I've taken from the book, and what I've made is a bunch of envelopes. I got this idea from Joey DeFee. She did what she called a four, I think it was a 4 envelope flapper. I think that's what she called it, using large book pages. Well, I wanted to use whole Edith Holden pages without wrecking the images. Now, when Joey did her flapper, she butted up the envelopes like you would, like normally, like you'd put them together like this, yeah? And then you'd sort of get your next one maybe on like that, and then maybe another one. You know, she did like different sizes, and I think she used encyclopedia pages, so she wasn't that fussed about, you know, using or covering certain parts. What I came up with was a flapper, but I've just done it a little bit different. It's probably been done before, you know, I haven't invented it by no means, but I just wanted to come on and show you what I've sort of come up with and how we can use these for lots of different things. These ones I've joined up, and all they are is your standard fold up envelope. I've rounded my corners, and instead of like sloping them and things, because I like rounded corners, I thought these would come in handy for storage, bird, you know, fussy cuts, birds, butterflies, whatever, or floral things, anything wildlifey really, you know. But they're all good sizes. Some of them are thicker than others because I folded over this edge, you know. It just depends. Some of them I have, some of them I haven't. But you can see what I've done here. I've managed to retain some imagery on the inside of the flap as well as the outside. I've done them so that they're all upright, so that all the images are going the same way. So this is the start, just the envelopes, and I'll show you what I did when I put them all together. So this is the same thing, same sort of envelope, but what I've done, I've joined them with the pamphlet stitch that we use in our signatures, yeah. Sometimes it's sort of worked, and then sometimes I've had to poke in because I've sewn this. I've not sewn it, I've stuck the envelope down, and I've thought, oh, I shouldn't have done that, but I've done it so that we can still open them out and fold them, and I think it's worked. This is your start, and then we've got a flap here. I haven't stuck them all down because I'm thinking you could have them as a folio and then pop something in there like that. You could have another little flapper, or you could have that as a hinged flapper like that, like a hinged pocket, and then you could have something here if you wanted to, or even a tuck spot for a tag or something. I mean, you haven't got to keep that on, you know, it could be cut off, but I've left them on because some of them I might glue down. So that's your first one, and then we've got this one, another one that's opening out. You can see what I've done, look how I've joined up some of the signatures, and then that one will open that way. I've put a bit of a belly band here on this one inside. I've put a little pocket there, and what I've done, I've tried to use other book pages that are similar plant, or, you know, relevant, or colours, matching colours. You know, that's what I've done because I can do that because I've got quite a few books, you know, to use up. So there we go. Here's another one. Look, you know, it's quite nice the way it can open out and flip. Here's another one. This one, I've actually put some flaps on the hinges ready to see what to do. I might add a couple of policy closures like this, you know, just to tie it down, or even a little Velcro fastener, but this is a bit thin. So depending on what I do, I mean, I may pop a couple of envelopes on these like this. Just push this up in case it goes off frame, like that, look. And then you've got a couple more little flip outs. And then this one is just a little flap, and I've used more of the book page that's the same as this. I'll probably put a little notebook in there, in that one, then that can be closed like that. We've got another one here, that one's actually stuck down. So I hope you've got sort of the idea, really, you know, what we can do. So I've managed to keep all the images, which is what I wanted to do. I didn't want to lose any of this, any of the images. This is the first one, well, one of the first ones that I did, and I haven't actually sewn it. You can see what I've done. I've used a bit of washi to secure the flaps together, and this is what I've done, look. Can you see what I've done? I've just lined them up and worked out which way I want them to go. And what I've tried to do is keep the colours, the colour sort of together, similar colours, or so they look nice when they're actually together. This is a nice opener. So what I've done here is just folded that edge over to make a little tuck. And then I'll probably put something in the middle of this one, like the other one. That one can go back, and then another one here. This one is joined, but what I'd done with a few of these is, like, I did stick some down, like the first ones I showed you, they were stuck down. And then when I come to join, I thought, oh, I'm going to be in a mess here, because how am I going to get my thread through? I did struggle. I had to poke my needle in, you know, to bring the signature through. But this one, obviously, I haven't, you know, I haven't stuck that. I haven't done this one yet. So, you know, I will have to sort of poke a big stitch through. Oh, I've got a visitor. Hello, what are you doing? This is my latest adopted cat. I'm looking after them for my son. Right, go on then. He's a bit nosy, but he likes to come and have a look, see what I'm doing. What I'll have to do is get my big pokey tool, probably a big long one, poke my hole through, get it through, you know, through there. Like, I'll have to be careful doing this. I don't want to poke myself like that. Get the hole, and then do the same with my thread, and I'll get my big long needle. Instead of my short needle, I've got a big long one, and that's what I'll do. I'll put this together on camera, and then you can see how it comes together. But what I wanted to do first, if I'm allowed, if this big boy doesn't come and pester me. Oh, he's going up on my shelf now at the top. Yeah, you can stay up there. This is what I've used, look. And what I've done was, I shall show you if I can. I'm just going to move something out the way, because I don't want him knocking something off. You stay there. Right, what I've got to do is work out which is the best way to do this, and which way works. So if I want that one as an opener, am I going to have that as my flap, my envelope, and have that as my front? Yeah, which I think that's what I'll do with this one. It's a different one. I haven't done one this way. So all you've got to do is line up your two edges to start off with, yeah, and you've got an idea then what sort of size you want, and then work out your flap. I'll take that flap back to this flower here, so that we've got a nice image on the front of the envelope. And what you've got to do is make your hinges, or your gusset, if that's what you want to call it, your sides to your actual you know, where you fold your how you make your envelope. So all you've got to do is fold it over. Let's move these up. cat's watching me, really patient. He's thinking, what is she doing? As long as he doesn't jump down and knock my tripod, otherwise the video will go off. So you just make your hinges like this, and then, oh, that one's gone a bit slopey. You can always do this on your scoreboard if you're not very good at doing your folds. As long as it's more or less spot on, you know, it doesn't really it's not a massive problem. That's my fold, that's my front, and that's my envelope. Yeah, that's the envelopey bit. So what we need to do is cut off some of this bulk, because we don't need all this, right? So all we do now is get our scissors and just take off that little edge. I'm just going to get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. I can't see my line. I'm working it's evening here now, so we haven't got any daylight. I hope my light isn't too glary or too weird. Now, because I like to do corners, I like to square these off first, and then I can get a rounder on, and then I'll do the same there with that one. Just take it off like that, and then I can get my rounder then on that corner. And then your front one, now what you need to work out is how much of a slope you want going on, whether you want it completely square or if you want it slightly angled. What I like to do is get a ruler, get my pencil, and then just take it from that corner and take a bit of a gradual slope, just so as you can follow a line. Really, it's, you know, it's just personal. If you're good at doing eyeballing, you know, eyeballing your lines, then go ahead. I like to follow the line, so I get it, you know, pretty level, pretty even. Take it to that first corner again, that first fold there. Oh, did you hear that then? He's just jumped down. Take it straight, or you can do a slope if you want a slopey, you know, a standard one, standard slopes, you know, the little cross like that. So you've got like that sort of shape going on. But I just like to do my corners rounded. I'll show you. Get your corner rounder in now easily, like that. It's just me. I've got mad on doing corners on everything, rounded corners. That's what I've done with all of them. I've just rounded all the corners on everything off. And then you can fold that in like that. Fold that one up, fold that one down, and then I like to do the same again. I do this before I do any gluing, because that way it's not going to affect your cutter. Give that a bit of a burnish so it's a good flat edge, because sometimes it's a bit tough to go through depending on how old your cutter is. Mine's playing up. All my cutters are playing up now. I think they're all, they either need, I've tried the foil thing, I've even put WD-40 on some of them, you know, to see if I can make them a bit more sort of you know, manoeuvrable, because they seem to be sticking. Right, now what I'm going to do here is just fold that over, so I've just got a better edge, you know, a better like that. And then if we want, then we can have that as a belly band, or you can have it as a stick down one, you know. Don't, if just to keep that like that instead. It's a shame, because, you know, I do like that. I do like all that. But I think we'll keep it open now, for now, until I decide what I'm going to do. I'm going to round that off though. Oh, there we go. Look, he's playing up a bit. round them off, and then we can stick that down at a later date, or put a hinge on it, put a belly band, put a wider belly band on it or something. There we go. And then the last one is just this one here. These tend to be a bit harder to get the rounded edge, because they're not quite square. But once you get them in, if they do leave a bit of a point or they don't round off too good, just get your file and that'll take it off. Look, that'll make it round. You know, if you're not happy with it. There we go, all done. Right, I'm just going to I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'll leave it. I was going to glue it, but I'm going to leave it. Because what I'm doing is doing these up first, like this, leaving them all like this, open. Then I can decide then whether I do want to attach them as a folio, use them as folios. Because if they're open, they're a lot easier to decide then. And that's the plan. Right, so I'm going to get off now, and then I'll come back and I'll do another video, and I'll get my big darner out, my big needle, and we'll run the whatchamacallit through the stitching. So I'll see you in a bit, folks. Hopefully you'll join me, and we'll crack on and see how far we can get. Bye then.